Hey everybody, what's going on? So I have I wouldn't call it an update, but a second video for the Pioneer amp error. So I made a video a couple months back about the Pioneer amp error. So you have an error that comes up that says amp error on your Pioneer head unit. Now, this is a DEH S5200 BT. And it'll come up. I won't have the error because I fixed mine, obviously, but in the previous video you could see it. So it'll come up and say amp error. Now, I have aftermarket door speakers, subwoofers, the whole 9 yards. So this error has to do with the internal amplifier of the Pioneer head unit. And this is what people were confused about. They wanted a little bit more in-depth detail of what they could do to solve this issue. So if you've had the head unit installed for a while and it started happening, what I would do is go door to door. So you're going to check your door speakers, your tweeters if you have them, your rear deck or your back door speakers. Locate all your speakers and just make sure that the wires haven't come loose and touched each other. So the amp error generally is a short circuit on the head unit, which means 2 speaker wires or more have touched, or internally the amp internals have been damaged. So if you've eliminated every speaker, you've taken every speaker and made sure all the wires aren't touching, and it's still giving you an amp error, you can remove the speaker one at a time and see if that fixes it. There could be a bad coil inside one of the tweeters, speakers, 6x9s, whatever it may be. Subwoofer, if you have subwoofers hooked directly to the head unit, it just depends. So there could be a bad coil and you don't know it. Or you might have a speaker that's starting to sound off and then you get this error that sub or speaker or tweeter went bye-bye. And it went ahead and it zapped out, and when it did, it crossed 2 wires on that coil and there's your amp error. So if you've eliminated the speakers completely, eliminated the subwoofers, eliminated RCAs touching, the RCAs usually won't give you this error, but there's a possibility, so I want to include that. So if you still have this amp error, go ahead and take your faceplate off and remove your radio and hook it up while it's in your hand and smell. See if it smells burnt or any signs of burning or short circuiting or anything like that. Also check the wiring harness in the back. If this is a plug and play type system, generally you won't have a problem except for where you soldered the 2 harnesses together, or where you butt spliced or connected them, or the shop did. Or possibly, some people do this, I know I've done it in mud trucks and buggies and stuff like that, you hook directly to a harness. You cut into a main harness, you tie into a power wire, there could be an issue there as well. So check that. If you've eliminated all those possibilities, go ahead and remove, if you have the option, the speaker wires coming out of the head unit themselves. And what I mean by that is some vehicles have 2 plugs. So 2 plugs will plug into the main harness connector, and then that'll go and be butt spliced into the radio harness. So remove that side with the speakers. So you generally it'll have front and rear, or one set or the other. Remove that. There could be a speaker wire in the door or in the trunk or something that's been crimped and you can't see it. So go ahead and remove all speakers from the possibility. If that does not solve it, it is probably your head unit and it's an issue you cannot see. Now you can take this head unit with the harness. If it's not connected, you can bench test it on 12 volts. You put negative on the black wire, you put the red and yellow together and put them on 12 volts. Once they're together, you should be able to turn the head unit on and apply music and see if it turns on or off, and then add a speaker and see if it's low. The amplifier in these head units is good, but as always, it is a manufactured human product. There is human error, there is machine error. I don't care what anyone says, nobody or nothing is perfect. There's always defects. So You never know. It could be a bad solder joint in the motherboard. It could be a bad motherboard. It could be a roach. It could be anything. I've been in vehicles where I went to repair amplifiers for customers, and I've seen a cockroach come out of the amplifier before I removed it, and I knew exactly what was wrong. They got inside the amplifier and short-circuited it. And that could happen in a car. It depends on where you live. If your vehicle's in the woods for a couple of years, you take it out and then the head unit won't work, you might have bugs. You might have water damage. You never know. So this is just a part 2 kind of explaining how to fix this error. I know mine was very simple. My 6x9s I had just installed. One of the wires wasn't tight enough on the terminal. It came off and was grounding on the actual chassis of the speaker. That's what caused my error. So you never know. But thanks for watching, guys. If this video helped you, please subscribe and hit that like button. And if you have any video questions or comments or want me to make a video explaining something, go ahead and drop that comment below. It really helps the channel out, and we really appreciate it.